Hello everybody, my name is Alyssa Cooper and this is Cooking in Quarantine. Sorry I'm a little late today, guys. I had a little technical difficulty. You know, those things happen from time to time. It's funny, I was speaking to a friend yesterday and I said, you know, I feel so fortunate that I have this outlet of being able to do this every day or most days and be able to plan ahead for it. And it gives me so much purpose and so much meaning, but that in some ways I'm doing like the job of like 9 people, right? I have to set the lights, I have to set the camera, I have to do the shopping, I have to plan the menus, I have to figure out if I can make them or not, I have to go and purchase extra equipment. I have to have new clothes to wear every day because I understand that if I don't wear something different every day, people will go to YouTube and will think, oh, I already saw the one where she wore the Nasty Women Vote t-shirt, so I don't have to watch that again. So, and then I have to do my hair and I have to do my makeup and I have to clean up on both ends. I have to organize. And again, not complaining, but simply saying that sometimes it's a little overwhelming because I'm doing literally like 9 union jobs here all by myself and still have to live my own life and keep up with my own stuff. So again, not complaining. I feel so fortunate that I can do this and that you guys are kind enough to come and show up and watch and listen and comment and all of that. So I appreciate it so much. But some days, even with the best of efforts, I screw up. And so today was an Alyssa screws up day. So I'll be full what do they call it? Full confession. I have thought that my Verizon bill was on auto pay all these months of COVID. Turns out it hasn't been. So anyway, I'm not sure when they turned the auto pay off of my account, but for some reason they did, and it took me a second to get everything up and running here again. So there's my delay, and I might say, word of warning to you, check and see if any of your bills that you think should be automatically paid every month are not actually hitting your card. I know that for a lot of us, all I do is literally I go to Marshall's or I Venmo money to, once again, a wonderful Liz Burke original. So maybe I'm not, I think maybe not any of us pay as much attention to our bank accounts anymore because where are we going, what are we doing, what are we spending money on? Hello, Kevin, how are you? So anyway, I am here. Hooray! And since I'm talking about money this morning, let's talk about money. I know Kevin and I have been chatting about this for the last 24 hours, but in order to get top security clearance in the United States government, you are supposed to evidence that you have no debt or no unreasonable debt. As Kevin and I were talking this morning, when he was in the military and had top clearance, he had to evidence that he had no debt. So other than a modest home mortgage, I don't think you should carry more than any, frankly, if you're a top secret person, you should not carry anything on your credit cards that you don't pay off every month. You should have a 900 credit rating if you have a top secret clearance, because nobody should be able to hold anything over you. If you will remember, part of the reason it was a crime to be gay was because we made it so shameful to be gay that it was considered to be a security risk if you were. So if anybody can hold anything over you, you're a security risk. I thought for years I am a pretty decent public speaker. I have great ability for memory, so I'm not like Bill Clinton. I mean, there's that famous story that the teleprompter went off for 8 minutes, and when it came back up, he was exactly at the precise comma where he was supposed to be. It might not be that good, but I thought for years in the 90s that going into politics would be something I might find interesting because I can talk to people. I like people. I believe in the kinds of policies that can help people. But I realized that I had not lived a perfect life, and that back in the 90s, when getting a blowjob was evidently an impeachable offense, I didn't think that I could withstand the scrutiny. And I might say that today I would be Mother Teresa. So anyway, boys and girls, my pianist from college asked me for some binge-worthy snacks. And if you maybe saw today, the film version of Boys in the Band dropped on Netflix. So this will be part of my binge, I think. This is a Christmas standard for me, something that I do. I do mixed nuts, and I do them with a spicy cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. Where did the nutmeg get to? So I use cayenne, cinnamon, cloves, a little nutmeg, brown sugar, and egg white wash, and then put them on. You have to make sure that they're well spread apart, and put them in a low oven, about 300, 325, until that the egg and the sugar caramelize onto the nuts. They're delicious, and yes, you can buy them in the store, but they don't come spicy and sweet. And so that's what really makes that amazing to me. So I buy nuts at Trader Joe's because that is where you can, at least here in New York, get the best price per pound on nuts. I've probably got a bag of pistachios down there. I've got nuts. I've got walnuts. I've got pecans. I've got cashews. Somewhere around in this house, I've got some, I should have some almonds, but it's up to you. Macadamias, whatever. I've got hazelnuts. Where are the hazelnuts? I've got hazelnuts here somewhere. Maybe more Kona almonds, whatever you like. It absolutely, whatever you like, you can do. And it absolutely could not be simpler. And so, like I said, this is a classic thing that I do at Christmas time. I make big bags full of them. And I have inherited over the years a stack of Revere bowls like this. They're like nesting dolls. I have a big one and they like a tree almost. So I put around my house at Christmas time little bowls of these spiced nuts. And then whomever comes by gets a glass of champagne, spiced nuts, bada bing, bada bang, easy peasy, right? So let's see, where has the nutmeg? There you go, nutmeg. So anything in this area that you like, if you want to put, like, if you've got mulling spices, you could literally take your mulling spices and put them in a mortar and pestle and let that be part of what it is. Really, it's your palate, but it's about this kind of warm deliciousness. Mix it again. So I'm going to make a little, I don't want to make a ton of them because I don't want, hello, we are in quarantine and I don't have that many people to snack with, and I'm not a snacker. So just so simple. You just want to, it's not the sharpest bowl edge to tap an egg on. So after you have separated your egg white from your egg yolk, there we go. Look at all that egg white. Look at it. Beautiful. Hanging there. Oh, baby. Perfect. Then, let's put these out so that this little egg yolk can sit here and maybe get used later. So for each one, so I'd say that for a pound of nuts, you'd want to do 6 egg whites. And then I would do, then of course the sugar is really up to you. If you like them really sweet and super caramelized, go for it. And you just want to make sure that it's still liquidy, that your dry ingredients to albumin are such that the albumin is still liquid, right? So you've got to be able to toss the nuts through this, right? and you toss them through, and then of course the cool, not too hot. You don't want to get it to get too hot, because first of all you want the egg whites to cook slowly so that it cooks with the sugar and helps the sugar to caramelize. Now you can use dark brown sugar if you want. I can do this more easily now. I buy organic sugar that has not been bleached. And so the way I judge sugar is you can use a sugar for that kind of caramelization when, if you open it up, it smells caramelly, right? When you buy, please no nothing against the Domino sugar people, but you know, when you open a box of Domino sugar, it doesn't have any smell, right? But when you have unbleached sugar, it has a great smell. So that's what you want, is that scent of caramelization and all of these things. I've told you that nutmeg for me is kind of like cilantro for other people. So I use nutmeg sparingly, and almost always in combination with the other two, cloves and cinnamon. And then, of course, this is the magic ingredient for me, is the cayenne pepper. You could use hot smoked paprika if that sounds exciting to you. And remember, the more cayenne you put, the more it negates the sugar, right? So like yesterday, oh my gosh, let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday, I had the most wonderful little meatballs prepared for the grudge match last night. What I did was I made up my own chili sauce based on what I thought Heinz chili sauce from the 70s tasted like. Mine, of course, was spicier than any commercial anything. And then melted it together with grape jelly. It was amazing. They were so good. And so what I did was I fried up my little tiny bite-sized guys, put them over here to drain. And then when we were ready to eat them, I should have taken a picture, I stood a little mound of white rice in the center, because that's a really helpful thing. Since I'm such a spicy person, if you're serving something that is particularly spicy, a little white rice, plain white rice, is good there, because for people who have a stronger reaction to spice, a little white rice can help to tamp that down for them. But those were great. I cannot, and I'm going to sit down and try to write down on the YouTube channel in the description. I'll put exactly how I made those guys. And then what I did was I saved both the oil and the fond from when I cooked the meatballs, and then I just dumped my sauce and my jelly in there, and I let it melt super slow. Since it was in a skillet, in a cast iron skillet, I literally turned the heat off and let the jelly, and helped incorporate the jelly in with no heat on at all. And then just before I was ready to serve them, I dumped them all in there, tossed them around a little bit, brought it up to heat a little bit, and then put them in a shallow bowl around the edge of that mound of white rice. They were a huge hit. There was not one single one left. So, and I think I ate 2. So, I can't recommend that highly enough for back when, and actually it's a great kind of COVID-friendly thing, because you could put a toothpick in every one and then nobody touches anybody else's food. So there's that. I am dying of thirst, so let me grab myself a glass of water and not lose an egg in the meantime. Hello, Mr. Jordan. Hello, Lucy. Thank you guys for coming by. So maybe I could whip up a quick little batch of nuts. My friend's daughter is coming for dinner tonight. She's always hungry. She'd happily eat these. So let's see what we can do quick, and whip up about maybe a half cup or so of these little guys. So here we go. Get the egg separated. I wonder what I might do with all these yolks. Actually, why don't I just put these here, and then I will figure out something to do with them later this afternoon. Boom, boom. So 3 good. Oh, Sugarfoot. Okay, well, there you go. I've always told you, I'm no pro. I'm just here to keep all of us from losing our minds. So now, after I get that little piece out of here, we'll be having a quiche later today at my house. But I think that you can see that it's pretty simple. So Jeffrey Watson, if you're out there, try to separate your eggs properly. A little bit of sugar. It can be either unbleached or brown sugar. Cayenne, a pinch of salt, and then nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon. Clearly, somebody pointed out to me that evidently Mars is in retrograde. I've heard of Mercury being in retrograde in my life, but never Mars. So clearly, things have gone bananas in pajamas here at my house today. So, I hope you guys have a better day than I'm having. I'm looking very much forward to tomorrow. I have in the morning time my very first Pilates since March booked. So I'm very excited. I get to stretch out tomorrow morning, so maybe I'll be happier and a little more on my game. The one thing I will say to you is when you're making these little sweet nuts, either put a lot of cooking spray on here or cooking spray and parchment paper, or cooking spray, parchment paper, and a Silpat, because they can get really sticky and such. And if you feel like that when you go after, say, 15 or 20 minutes and they're still damp, let them stay in the oven a little bit longer until they get dry. That's what you want, because you want to be able to take them all out and kind of like peanut brittle, be able, if they are touching each other, right, snap them into individual pieces, throw them into a big Ziploc bag, and they stay for, you could make them the 1st of December and they'd still be good for Valentine's Day, frankly. So once again, I failed miserably, but I promise that they're delicious. And that's all I can say, guys. So this is maybe why I don't snack, because I foul things up. But anyway, so that's my day, guys. So hopefully you guys will make up some nice little snack for yourselves. Boys in the Band with the same cast to the person who were on Broadway on Netflix today. And now I'm going to go see what vegetables I have so I can turn this into, like I said, quiche. I know I have some goat cheese, so that's helpful. Thanks, guys. Thanks for putting up with me being late. And be incensed that our so-called leader is completely under the thumb of someone. Could you imagine? What's the payment on $500 million? Is that secured? What's he paying on that? Right? I once had an unsecured loan, had to pay 9% when everybody else was, everything else was charging 3%. So that's very, very scary to me. So listen, guys, take care of yourselves. Do something good for your mind. Do something good for your heart. Do something good for your family. Do something good for your hood. That's all I can say. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. And I'll try to, not break the eggs. Ciao. Oops. See? I can't even hit the end button.